In this video, I wanted to do a follow-up of my last video where I talked about how I failed to learn programming and some of the reasons why I think I failed to learn programming. How did things go differently this time? What was different this time when I was learning so that I actually succeeded and did not fail? That's what I want to talk about in this video. First, instead of reading books, I focused on online courses. I used other things like YouTube videos, tutorials, not really any books, interestingly enough, although books are great for certain types of things. I'll maybe talk a little bit more of that in other videos, but focused on online courses. Did an online course, learned it, and for me that worked really well. I realized that my learning style is better met with things like video instruction or in-person instruction. Where there's a demonstration, I learned things like that very quickly. So that's what I did, and it worked really well for me. Second, I didn't think I could do it alone. When I failed, I kind of was by myself, not really thinking about it, trying to do it all by myself. This time, I didn't think I could do it alone. I had failed so many times in the past. I knew I couldn't do it alone. I knew I was going to need help. So I started trying to network. I started trying to connect with my friends that had done it, ask questions of family members of friends who were programmers. I was living in San Francisco at the time, so I tried to do some networking events, which there was a lot there. There might be some in your area too, even right now, or even online you could do. I searched for error messages in Stack Overflow. I posted comments in threads. There's like Discord channels. There's all kinds of ways now that you can get help. So I'd encourage you to reach out to do that. Third, I picked interesting projects or learning materials that looked like what I wanted to make. This time around, I made sure that my output looked like the things that interested me. I found resources that taught me how to make things I thought I needed to learn that I would be doing on the job. So an example is if you want to make iPhone apps. Go on YouTube, look for someone who's teaching you how to make an iPhone app in about an hour. You can do that, an hour or two, your first iPhone app. That's the kind of thing you'll be doing. You'll make an app, you can load it on your phone, and it's very encouraging. I'd recommend doing stuff that looks like what you'll be doing in your job or in the long term. 4, I did not give myself an out. Even when it got difficult, I kept learning and I kept applying what I was learning. I kept applying to jobs. Even if I was staring at the same error message for 10 hours in one day, which can happen with just one little typo, one capitalization that's off, or one comma that's missing, I didn't give up. And this kind of reminds me of a scene, one of the final scenes in the movie Gattaca with Ethan Hawke. He doesn't have good DNA, and so he's not allowed to do certain jobs, and he's not going to be as successful in society because society has not let him because of his DNA and his, I think, heart defect. But his brother has perfect DNA, and they're doing this swimming race at the end in like dangerous water, and Ethan wins, even though his DNA isn't the best. And they get back to land, and I think Ethan even saves his brother and keeps him alive or something. They get back to land, he's like, "How did you do it? How did you beat me? Your DNA is, obviously not as good as mine." And he's like, "I didn't save anything for the way back." Something like that. And for me, it was like, I didn't save anything for the way back. I didn't give myself an excuse that's like, oh, I can go back to this old job, or I can go back to this old industry. I didn't give myself an out. And so I kept going until I got a job offer. Now, I was driving Lyft and I was doing other things to make money, but I still kept coding all the time I could, and even on, as much as I could on Saturday. And it worked out. 5th, I researched a decent roadmap. Now, I say decent here because I didn't have a perfect roadmap. I don't think there is a perfect roadmap. There's tons of roadmaps out there that exist, and you don't need a perfect one. You just need a decent one, a pretty good one, and that's what I did. So I researched it. I found the different things that I wanted to learn, and I put them in a little roadmap, and then I started going through my roadmap, and that's how I learned how to code. I have a Substack article I wrote recently on ultra learning. If you're interested, I'll put that in. He talks about this concept as well in that, and I'll link that in the description below. But basically, I talked to people in the industry. I researched different topics and found out what some of the words meant because I didn't know what a lot of the words meant. And then I planned a roadmap for my learning, and I knocked those out, and then I became employable as a result. 6th and lastly, instead of underestimating what I needed to learn and all the different things that I needed to learn, I embraced the chaos. I embraced the fact that I had to learn a lot of different things to get a job as a software engineer. I embraced that and I started chiseling away at the topic list. I let the resources and my roadmap slowly guide me to comprehension. Gradually, I got more and more familiar with the topics until I became proficient in databases, in SQL, and MongoDB, and HTTP requests, and servers, and JavaScript, and React, and CSS styling, and authentication, and the list kind of goes on. It's kind of insane. But all of that work, summarize all those things together, and in about 7 months after I started, I had my first offer at a startup. And the rest is history. I've been coding ever since full time, and I love it. I've done side projects. I put my own app on iOS store, even though it's not amazing, because that's been a life goal of mine. And I've been able to do things that I have always dreamed of now that I'm able to code. And I love it. And I want to share that with others. And so that's why part of the reason why I started this channel as well. Let me know if there's other topics that you're interested in. One commenter has already suggested ChatGPT, which I'm excited about because I haven't actually even logged in and tried yet, but maybe I'll do that soon. Let me know if there's anything else you're interested in. Like, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching.